A ton of work goes into making a film like The Crimes of Grindelwald, and most of it audiences don't even really see. But all that work helps elevate a film to a whole new level. From filming locations, to inspiration for the sets, to costume details and book connections, we take a dive into the behind the scenes of Crimes of Grindelwald. Spoiler alert ahead. Before we revelio these secrets, be sure to click on the subscribe button and hit the notification bell to stay up to date with everything ScreenRant. The first time we see Dumbledore's Reflection. For those who never read the Harry Potter books, this little moment likely went right over your heads. During the film, we see Albus Dumbledore looking into the mirror of Erised and seeing Grindelwald in the reflection. While this may seem obvious to those who are putting the pieces together from only the movies, it is a great addition to a scene from the first Potter novel. In it, Dumbledore tells Harry that the only thing he sees in the mirror's reflection is getting new wool socks. Clearly, that isn't the case, Dumbledore. Eddie Redmayne's initial audition. Despite being cast as Newt Scamander in the Fantastic Beasts films, that was not Eddie Redmayne's first choice when it came to being part of the Wizarding world. In fact, it wasn't even the same series. Redmayne actually revealed that he auditioned for a role in Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. Care to take a guess as to what that role was? Believe it or not, the young version of Lord Voldemort, Tom Riddle. Redmayne confesses he botched that audition horribly, but thankfully for him and fans, he landed the lead part in the prequel franchise. Flamel'S home. The film introduces us for the first time to Nicolas Flamel, the real-life alchemist who lived in France during the 13th century. In the Potterverse, he's since created the elixir of life and has obtained a great age, around 600 years old by the time of Grindelwald. Since he is so old, his wardrobe and house are products of his time. While everyone else is modernizing, Nicolas's home is still using timber frames and still looks like a medieval building, complete with stone walls. His robe also is made to look ancient, because immortals can't exactly go shopping. The Pantheon. The climax of the film takes place underneath the Lestrange family crypt, and Grindelwald gives a rousing speech to his followers about the greater good, saving the world, and all that nonsense. The set designers really got to enjoy this portion of the film though, as they were inspired by a real building. Built between 118 and 125 AD, the Roman Pantheon was used as inspiration for the amphitheater where Grindelwald gives his final speech. The massive circular room is the perfect place for someone to give a rousing speech, and with a connection to a Roman emperor at his side, it is a fitting inspiration. Back to Hogwarts. One of the biggest treats of the film was no doubt returning to Hogwarts for a bit. We go back in two scenes, one for Albus's demotion and another for a flashback between Lita and Newt. That meant that the filmmakers had to go back to some of the old filming locations. Many real-world locations made up Hogwarts, but Crimes of Grindelwald brought it back to the first two Harry Potter films by filming partially at Lecoq Abbey. Fans will remember Snape confronting Quirrell at nighttime in this abbey from the first film. Back to England. The climax of the film takes place at the Père Lachaise cemetery in Paris, which is a labyrinth of mausoleums and tombstones that oddly enough makes for an enchanting walk. Grindelwald gives his rousing speech under the cemetery and unleashes his magical fire dragons among the tombstones. While the film was largely shot in Paris, this scene was actually filmed in the Highgate Cemetery in England, as it was likely easier to film there and avoid crowds as it's only accessible via guided tour, unlike the real Père Lachaise cemetery in Paris, which is open to the public. Lots of costumes. Like the set design, the costume department is on point when it comes to these prequel films. We are easily transported back in time to the 1920s, and part of that illusion is done with the help of the costumes. Costume designer Colleen Atwood revealed that she made a lot, and we mean a lot, of costumes for the film. For the second film, she and her team made around 1,000 costumes, including 400 jackets. Atwood won the Oscar for her costume design for Fantastic Beasts, and we think she has a solid chance of being 2 for 2 with these fantastic films. New York is Paris. If there's one thing these Fantastic Beasts movies are getting right, it's the set design. Holy moly! The crew have actually built a few city blocks worth of set to recreate the 1920s, and it shows. The New York City set from the first movie obviously took a lot of time to build, so why go through all the trouble again for round 2? Well, they didn't actually. A lot of Paris is actually the New York set dressed up to appear more French, but many of the core designs were actually in the first film. The answer page. At the end of the film, Grindelwald reveals to Credence and the audience that his biological family is the Dumbledores, and that he is Albus's long-lost brother. Fueling the fire, he eggs Credence on and tells him his brother wishes to kill him. Is he manipulating Credence? There's a good chance, but J.K. Rowling actually teased this reveal in 2016. On her own website, she put up a banner with the book Meditations by Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor who ruled with his adoptive brother for some time. Considering Credence was adopted, she was definitely teasing a greater lineage ages ago. Aurelius equals Ariana? Arguably, one of the biggest connective tissues between the book and the movie is the Ariana connection. While nothing is set in stone yet, many fans have theorized that Ariana Dumbledore had an obscurial like Credence does, due to the fact that her magic was suppressed as a child. The new twist is that when she died, her power may have been transferred to Credence. So, when Grindelwald talks to Credence at the end and mentions your brother, he may have been talking to Ariana. It'd certainly be a deep dive connection and would connect the books and the films rather nicely. Talk about a lot of behind-the-scenes secrets. There is a bunch more in books like the Archive of Magic that you can check out for yourself. What secret did you find the most interesting, and did you find any yourself that's worth a mention? Let us know in the comments below, and be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this in your playlist every day. Thanks for watching.